It's midnight and you're tuning into Nightline with me, Adrian Seet. The top stories. Madani budget is a manifestation of government's commitment to reduce costs of living. Also, New Zealanders vote for a change of government. We begin with this story. Thousands of people at a well-known shopping mall in Johor Bahru were abruptly evacuated following reports of an alleged bomb threat on Saturday. Footage and images of the evacuation at the mall Mid-Valley South Quay at about 6:30 p.m. also went viral on social media. According to Johor Bahru Selatan District Police Chief ACP Raup Selamat, authorities immediately deployed its personnel to sweep every floor of the mall after receiving a report on the bomb scare. He added that the investigation is still ongoing and police are working to ascertain the exact nature of the incident. As of 8:50 p.m., access to the mall was gradually restored to shoppers, tenants and staff through controlled entry points. Earlier in the videos and pictures circulating online, thousands of people were seen hastily leaving the mall after an alarm was triggered, and they were instructed to vacate the building and gather at the outdoor parking area. In a statement later, the mall management confirmed that the public were evacuated following a security threat received via an anonymous phone call. The 2024 Malaysia Madani budget is a manifestation of the government's continued commitment to reduce the cost of living, increase job opportunities and be more competitive. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the budget-themed economic reform empowering the people also translates the unity government's efforts in supporting a conducive investment climate in a changing global environment. In a Facebook post on Saturday, Anwar said the 2024 budget emphasizes sustainable and pro-people economic growth, in line with the country's new economic direction. He also said this budget is a statement of the unity government's commitment to revitalizing the economy in the challenging world of today and ensure that every Malaysian can experience happiness and live in peace in this country without ever feeling left out. Anwar, who is also Finance Minister, tabled the 2024 budget in the Dewan Rakyat on Friday, announcing an allocation amounting to 393.8 billion ringgit, which is the highest budget ever presented. It outlines its three main focus, namely, best governance for service agility, restructuring the economy to accelerate growth, and improving people's living standards. Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi stressed that the 2024 budget announced by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim on Friday was much better than the previous year's budget. Therefore, the Deputy Prime Minister hoped it would not be politicised by certain quarters.
Biarlah kita berbeza pandangan politik, tetapi dalam soal ekonomi, soal imej negara, kita hendaklah tidak mempolitikkannya. Ya. Yang penting apa yang telah dibentangkan oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri selaku Menteri Kewangan telah dicerakinkan dengan cukup komprehensif dengan melibatkan semua golongan masyarakat.
Zahid said this after launching the state-level National Sports Day celebration in Gua Musang, Kelantan on Saturday. He added that the national budget should be viewed not only in light of the current needs, but also considered as a measure for both short-term and medium-term perspectives. He also stressed what was emphasized by the Prime Minister when tabling the budget, that it had been comprehensively researched, taking into consideration the interests of all sectors of society. The Defence Ministry will focus on acquiring new assets, including for the national border security through the 19.7 billion ringgit allocated to the ministry in the 2024 budget. Its Deputy Minister Adli Zahari said amongst the new assets include 3 littoral mission ships to be stationed at the Royal Malaysian Navy Naval Region 4 headquarters in Bintulu, Sarawak.
Dengan cara itu kita akan dapat memperkukuhkan lagi maritim kita. Kerana melalui kertas putih pertahanan kita, maritim adalah antara sumber kekayaan utama kita. Sebab kita adalah sebuah negara maritim. Sebab itu ini dibajetkan.
He said this to the media after opening the political funding workshop in Aikro, Malacca on Saturday. Atley added that another focus is the welfare of military personnel and veterans. This is evident from the 400 million ringgit allocated next year to build more houses under the Rumah Keluarga Malaysia Angkatan Tentera RK-MAT initiative, as well as improving support and allowance for military veterans, including non-pensioners. Civil servants have received good news in the 2024 budget announced on Friday. While many welcomed the incentives, is there more that can be done for the individuals who keep the government running? FMT's Natasha Bust finds out.
Malaysia has seen many changes in recent years. For one, we've had a number of different governments in a span of 5 years. Then there was COVID-19, and all of us had to get used to living differently for a while. But throughout all this, there's been one constant: the civil service. Our 1.7 million strong civil service has delivered throughout the changes and challenges. And Budget 2024 made sure civil servants get their due recognition. Prime Minister and Finance Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim announced a one-off cash incentive for civil servants. Those below grade 56 will be given a 2,000 ringgit one-off incentive, while uniformed personnel will receive 1,000 ringgit. QPEX President Adnan Mat, who has been at the forefront of championing a raise for civil servants, welcomed the incentives.
Jadi itu adalah merupakan sedikit kelegaan untuk anggota Perkhidmatan Awam, dan suka diingatkan juga bahawa bayaran insentif awal ini jika dibanding dengan tahun-tahun sebelumnya, ini adalah bayaran insentif yang tertinggi pernah kami dapat dalam tempoh 10 tahun. Sebelum ini biasa kami dapat hanyalah 500, dan itu pun 700 pada 2 tahun lepas.
The lump sum payment will be made at the end of February 2024, ahead of Ramadan and the ensuing Hari Raya holidays. Beyond the incentives, there is hope for the introduction of the new public service compensation system, which is expected to go live in 2025.
Dan sistem saran penyewa awam ini adalah satu sistem yang kami nak kerajaan meneruskan komitmennya, dan pada masa sama perlu dipercepatkan. Dan jika sistem saran ini belum dimutamatkan, bermakna anggota Perkhidmatan Awam masih menggunakan pakai gaji yang telah lama tidak ditingkatkan, iaitu telah pun 10 tahun yang lalu.
Abdul Rashid Ali, who is the Deputy President of the Association of Junior Police Officers, also sees the new SSPA as a top priority.
Apa yang penjawat awam harapkan sebenarnya adalah satu kadar yang tetap. Contohnya kenaikan gaji ataupun kenaikan gaji tahunan. Itu yang penting.
Still, there is a lot to be happy about.
Bonus ni of course lah untuk sambut raya dan sebagainya, kita macam kita pun sukalah kalau hari raya dapat apa macam tu kan. So at least dapat mengurangkan sikitlah beban perbelanjaan.
There was also good news for pensioners who will receive a one-off 1,000 ringgit incentive payment. Adnan says it is well deserved.
Bagi kita tengah menghargai perkara ini dan berterima kasih pada kerajaan kerana pesara-pesara juga merasa diri mereka telah pun dihargai oleh pihak kerajaan.
Natasha Bust, FMT for Nightline.
Meanwhile, Putrajaya has finally decided to scrap the ceiling price for chicken and eggs. The move means that the prices for chicken and eggs will be floated again. What impact will this have, and is this the right move? Danish Raja Reza and Amirul Aiman have the story.
Chicken and eggs. For most Malaysians, they are primary sources of protein. After all, they are widely available and more affordable than meat and fish. In fact, they're so important to Malaysians that the government has put a cap on the selling price of chicken and eggs. And the price ceiling has been in place for some time. But on Friday, in tabling the budget, Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim announced the price ceiling would be scrapped. A bold move, but one that is necessary.
If you ask us, we prefer the price to be floated. But then when the price to be floated, right, then the government should not be intervene on the price. Right? So we just hope that after the price ceiling removed, I think the price will adjust. When they actually set the price too low, it's not fair for the farmer also.
And it's not just chicken and egg producers who think it's a good move.
The industry is very happy to note that the government has finally listened to the industry, where we find that availability is more important than price. This will be the correct time to remove the subsidy because the price of chicken is far below the control price of $9.40. The price now is about $8.50.
Amir says consumers do not need to be too concerned about the removal of the ceiling prices.
We don't expect the prices to go up too high for the chicken. But of course, the eggs has always been a shortage in the industry. So if the price is lifted, we expect the price of A size egg, which is 45 cents, will go up at least 10 cents to 55 cents.
At present, the retail ceiling price for standard processed chicken stands at 9 ringgit 40 cent per kilogram, while grade A eggs are 45 cent each, grade B are 43 cent, and grade C is 41 cent. And in the event that prices do shoot up, the government can always step in again.
This would be the correct time to lift it. And for whatever reason, if prices go haywire, then the government can always put back the price control.
Danish Rajareza and Amirul Aiman, FMT for Nightline.
A group led by the Johor Princess, Tunku Kamaria Amina Maimuna Iskandaria Sultan Iskandar, and German tycoon Andreas Heeschen intends to raise 550 million ringgit through bonds to rescue the debt-laden KNM Group. They also plan to revive several key strategic assets in Malaysia, Thailand and Indonesia.
I think KNM, as a Malaysian company, with its history and its assets, deserves a lot better. You've got some great people that are able to manufacture things around the world, Italy, Germany, Malaysia, even Indonesia, you've got a workshop. Yes. And so those need to be revived. Fresh equity, the debt restructuring.
The group is also seeking a leadership change and has proposed the removal of the current directors at an EGM on Monday. He added that once the bond is placed, there will be a shareholder capital increase estimated to be up to 600 million ringgit. The company will then enter into a 5-year restructuring plan to turn around non-performing assets and create shareholder value.
Now, as you know,
Children amongst dead after strike hits fleeing convoy. This and more when Nightline returns. We are back with news from the front. Multiple explosions were recorded in Gaza as Israel stepped up its bombardment on Palestinians ahead of an expected ground assault by the Zionist regime on Saturday. In the latest atrocity, at least 70 people were killed, mostly women and children, after an Israeli airstrike hit a convoy fleeing northern Gaza. The vehicles were hit as they headed away from Gaza City after the Israeli army ordered more than 1 million residents to evacuate to the south of the besieged territory ahead of an expected ground invasion. This despite the United Nations urging the Zionist regime to reconsider its evacuation order. The UN have also pleaded for aid to be delivered, warning that the situation in the Gaza Strip has turned to a matter of life and death as water runs out. No aid has so far reached the 2.3 million residents of Gaza due to the cruel Zionist regime's refusal to permit delivery. To date, the death toll from Israel's attack has reached at least 2,215 Palestinians, including 724 children. New Zealanders on Saturday have resoundingly voted for a change of government, with incumbent Prime Minister Chris Hipkins conceding his centre-left Labour Party's 6 years in power. It was over. Hipkins, who replaced Jacinta Ardern this year, said he was not in a position to form a government and had congratulated incoming Conservative Premier Chris Luxon.
I gave it my all to turn the tide of history, but alas, that was not enough. In the coming days, we will ensure that there is a smooth transition to a new government.
And tomorrow morning, New Zealanders are going to wake up to not only a new day, but the promise of a new government and a new direction.
With more than 2/3 of the vote counted, Luxon's National Party had about 40% of the vote. Under New Zealand's proportional voting system, 53-year-old Luxon was expected to form an alliance with the Libertarian ACT Party. Meanwhile, the Labour Party that Hipkins leads was getting only a little over 25% of the vote, about half the proportion it got in the last election under Ardern. $30,000 people participate in 66 events. Sports when we come back. On to sports. Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim wants a tighter network between the Youth and Sports Ministry, the Education Ministry and the Higher Education Ministry. This is to enable sports activities in schools, centres of higher learning and the community be rejuvenated and strengthened. According to Anwar, a Madani country could only grow if its people are empowered, not only through the fields of employment and economy, but also via aspects of health through sports.
Madani ini akan hanya berkembang kalau rakyat itu diperkasakan. Bukan kerajaan diperkasakan, rakyat diperkasakan. Rakyat diperkasakan dalam pelbagai bidang. Pekerjaan, ekonomi, dan utamanya kesihatan.
He said this at the launch of the 2023 National Sports Day in Putrajaya on Saturday. Anwar added that under the Madani framework, the government aims to create a young generation that is energetic and healthy. Therefore, all aspects of sports are considered important to achieve this aspiration. In addition, Anwar, who is also the finance minister, said he tabled several initiatives and incentives that had been sought after for decades for sports activities in the 2024 budget unveiled on Friday. Amongst others, he announced an allocation of 72 million ringgit next year for the empowerment of athletes' podium events ecosystem and the implementation of the Road to Gold initiative as an effort to deliver Malaysia's first Olympic gold medal. About 30,000 participants from all walks of life joined in more than 66 programs held in conjunction with the National Sports Day. Amongst the events were fun rides, walk and run, tackball, netball and basketball.
This is my first time. Tahun lepas saya tak datang. Tahun ni saya datang. Sangat-sangat meriah, Alhamdulillah. Havoc. And saya lari 10 km bersama dengan anak saya, stroller. And it's very challenging. And saya mengharapkan ayah-ayah, mak-mak yang kat rumah tu support datang sini. Kalau boleh join tahun depan 10 km, try to join.
The event, held on the second Saturday of October every year, promotes sports amongst the community through an active and healthy lifestyle. Also celebrating the National Sports Day were government agencies across the nation. Amongst them was the Selangor Road and Transport Department. Held at the Selangor RTD office in Padang Jawa, several activities were held, including brisk walks, netball, penalty shootout tournaments, as well as aerobics exercise. Present was Selangor RTD's Deputy Director Ahmad Kamarun Zaman Mehat and about 300 officers, including community members. Woman held after baby girl dies at nursery. The details after this short break. In Selangor, a babysitter at a nursery in Kota Damansara was taken into custody by the police following the death of a 2-month-old baby girl on Tuesday. Petaling Jaya Police Chief ACP Muhammad Fakhruddin Abdul Hamid said the woman, a foreigner in her 40s, was arrested after police received a report from the medical officer who treated the victim. He added that the incident happened on the second day when the victim, Kasih Aulia Faizul, was sent to the nursery. The suspect, who is married to a local man, was arrested at the Petaling Jaya Police headquarters after being called to give a statement on Friday. Authorities have also recorded the statements of 3 other individuals, including the victim's parents. Fakhruddin also said the woman was released on police bail after her statement was recorded, and the case is currently being investigated under the Child Act for alleged child neglect. As of now, the exact cause of the infant's death is still unknown, and police are still waiting for the results of the post-mortem. In conjunction with World Students' Day, 2 teachers share their experience of being educators, one following in her late mother's footsteps and the other switching paths after having found her calling. FMT's Sheila Vijayan and Trivia Raghu have the details.
Today on World Students' Day, FMT Lifestyle speaks with 2 teachers who run a tuition center in Setia Alam, Selangor. Sujitra Bhaskaran draws on the lessons of her late mother while teaching, while Sasveni Subramaniam is an accidental teacher who has learnt a thing or two since becoming an educator. Sujitra's mother, Anbalagi Tangaya, wanted to become a teacher but did not get the opportunity. So, Sujitra decided to become one. Sadly, Anbalagi never got the chance to see her daughter graduate and become a teacher. In 2019, she succumbed to a decade-long battle with ovarian cancer. Today, Sujitra incorporates the lessons she learned from her mother into her own teaching. These include the importance of communication, which is why Sujitra always converses with her students to understand them better.
The reply you get is like, you'll get a sigh that a teacher today is long, I'm so tired. Can we do something different today? So when you talk, you will get response. You will get response accordingly. So that is the most important thing.
Sadly, 2 years after her mother's death, her father too passed away. These challenging times have given Sujitra a sense of empathy for students in difficult situations. So she waives or reduces fees for those who cannot afford it.
What do you think your mother will feel seeing you today?
Sasveni, meanwhile, fell in love with teaching when she started helping her neighbors' children with their homework. Although she graduated as a nutritionist, she pursued teaching as a career. In fact, this accidental teacher is carrying on her family's legacy, as her late grandfather was a headmaster and 2 of her aunts are retired teachers. Given that she has no formal background in teaching, she says it has been a learning experience, but she has no regrets. When Sasveni learned that one of her students, an 8-year-old boy, was autistic, she started researching and conversing with friends who taught at special needs centers to learn how to best teach him. She was delighted when he eventually became more verbal in class, and since then she has taught over 10 special needs students.
Even now, like if I do receive any request for special needs, I would definitely take up.
Believing that every child deserves to learn, she too waives or reduces fees for those from poor backgrounds.
I feel like I'm making a change in their life, so I think that's what I really love doing until now. And also the satisfaction when not only in their exams, like even in their life, as they progress to become a better person, like it makes me happy.
Divya Raghu and Sheila Vijayan, FMT Lifestyle for Nightline.
As we wrap up Nightline this time around, let's take a look as tens of thousands of people rally across the Middle East and in parts of Asia, Europe and the United States in support of the Palestinians as Israel prepares for a possible ground invasion of the Gaza Strip. With that, I'm Adrian Seet. Thank you for watching and stay safe, Malaysia.